Alright guys, how's it going? It is Saturday, the 11th of April 2020, and you're watching KopTalk.tv. Alright, hey, how's it going guys? You alright? I'll be streaming live on this channel over the weekend. Make sure you tick that little notifications bell and put it to select all. In fact, the YouTube app is very good. I would download that personally. It's worth it for your subscriptions, and you can turn each channel on and off. Obviously, you'd want mine on. So yeah, how are you doing? You alright? Don't forget to check out my KopTalk podcast and Don't Know's Best podcast, please. So hopefully I can record this video without the camera freezing. This computer, I was just looking, I think it's 7 or 8 years old. I'm not sure this one. Well, that's what it says on the about thing anyway. Or does it mean post 2012? I don't fucking know, guys. I'm getting too old for this shite, honestly I am. But it just keeps freezing all the time. It drives me mental, man. Is it the memory or what? Is it the RAM? I was just looking there. To get the RAM, I'd have to get 200 quid just to change the RAM. And imagine spending £200 on the memory and then it's still being the same. I'd commit suicide. So we'll see. Right, listen, I want to talk to you about Timo Werner. Now, listen. Listen. The reason I'm making this video, I've spoke about it quite a lot on the website and also on my podcast and that. We speak about Timo nearly every single bloody day during the week on the KopTalk podcast. I was just wondering what your thoughts were with this situation because he apparently has this release clause in his contract that has to be triggered by the end of April. So it's all gone very quiet on that front because of the current pandemic and all that, which is, common sense. Now, the British media, reported that Liverpool have suspended all transfer talks and all internal contract negotiations, but that's not what I've heard. So what I've heard is that, Duncan, common sense, low-key things pushed down, we proceed with the most important things that we can deal with that are high on the agenda that we've been working on for months, if not years, because Liverpool tend to plan a year and a half, 2 years ahead with transfer windows and things like that. So you're telling me they've now gone, do you know what, not interested, we'll leave it. This pandemic's going to go on for a couple of months. The transfer window is going to be there, and they might change the period of the transfer window, but it is going to be business as usual with some regard. Using Timo Werner as an example, assuming Liverpool still want to pursue that interest, which I've been going like this up and down with it, guys, with how I feel about it. They would need to trigger this contract clause before the end of April. Now, the situation with the contract clause and the virus, it's a legal document, isn't it? So if you're in trouble or you've got some kind of legal thing or whatever, it doesn't stop, does it, at the end of April if it was set to the end of April because of a pandemic or any date. If you're due to go to court for something you've done wrong, then they're not going to turn around and go, well, there's a virus, so just forget about it. No, they're just going to shift it out a little bit. Well, that's one possibility. Maybe an agent, if they've got common sense, would sit down with the club and go, look, this is due to expire at the end of April. Things have changed a bit. It would be beneficial to all of us if we put, changing it now by, 1 month, 2 months, depending on, I don't know how they would word it, when things resume. I don't know. I don't even think they'll do that. So for me, I think that if you've got a legal document now that is committing to a date at the end of April, whether it is in football or anything else, that document, that agreement is contractually legally binding. It has to be. It just has to be. So surely Liverpool have to trigger that, or any other club, before the end of April if they want to take advantage of that valuation, which we think is around £51 million, don't we? Have any of you seen anything to do with this contract clause and the pandemic? Because I haven't, and I'm looking for it non-stop. There's just no mention of it. But I'm sure you would agree with me that legally that clause will still stand. Now, maybe a buying club, can come in and go, right, we're triggering the clause, but then makes an agreement with the agent or something and says, this is subject to, we're gonna push ahead with a deal with you. We've triggered the clause, we're allowed to talk with him, but we're not complete. We need a little get out in case this drags on for 12 months. Because you don't know, we don't expect it to, do we? But imagine if something went fucking mental. It's science, isn't it? Mother Nature and all that. So, they're gonna have to look at things in a different way. So the way I see it, and it's only a hunch, because nobody's Nobody's talking about this. Is the way I see it is that that clause still needs to be triggered in the next just 2 weeks or something. If a club wants him at that situation, the big question is, do Liverpool Football Club still want him? I saw Didier Mann was saying the other day, wasn't he, that he didn't think that he would fit into Liverpool. Didn't think he was good enough to get in a Liverpool setup at the moment. And there were some quotes yesterday from his chief executive at Leipzig, who said that he was deeply relaxed about the situation and Werner. And he says he hasn't signalled yet that he wants to leave at the end of the season. And he doesn't have to. He has a contract until 2023. Well, he can say what he wants, can't he? We know that Werner has been very, very, very public with his, Liverpool, great club. Oh, Klopp, I love him. So we know that he wants to move. Liverpool, you would think, would still proceed, would you not? Are you going to tell me now that the finances are completely ruined because of the pandemic? This is a player that you can get at a reasonably decent price. Well, I think it's a fantastic price, to be honest, 50 million. But I don't know, it's been on my mind non-stop. Every time you listen to my podcast, the KopTalk podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, if you've got Spotify, search KopTalk, Deezer, the TuneIn radio app, fuck, it's everywhere, right? If you listen to that, every time his name crops up, I keep saying the same thing. I keep saying, guys, have you seen anything to do out with his contract clause? Because it's getting close now, isn't it? It's getting close. And I don't know. I mean, I want him. But I don't know. Everything's gone quiet, hasn't it? For obvious reasons. But, he is being mentioned with us on an almost daily basis. There's no suggestion that any other club is making any credible attempts to land him. We know that there's clubs like, Real Madrid have been linked with him before. I've always been a bit concerned that he might go to somewhere like Real Madrid or Bayern. Bayern was the one. Now, I saw them mentioned with him within the last week. I can't remember when. And that was something, it was like, Bayern reignite interest. And I was like, that's it, it's fucked now. Because I think he's always wanted to go there. But anyway, the reason that I'm making this video is to say, what do you think about this contract clause? Because surely it remains, doesn't it? It stands there. It is subject to a particular date this month, pandemic or not. You can't turn around and go, well, hang on a minute, we're bidding for him on the 12th of May, because you turn around and go, you've missed the fucking day. This contract is law. Simple as that. Yes, there may be delays in the system and processing of civil and criminal cases and things like that, but it's still a fucking legal document. Put it this way, if my Sky contract is up fucking on the 11th of April today, and I ring Sky and tell them I want to cancel, all right, and they said we can't do that because of the pandemic, what would you say? You'd be like, get fucked. You know what I'm saying, guys? No, I'm not having that. So that clause has got to be still there. So brace yourself, because something's got to come out in the next 2 weeks or so. Something has to, whether it's Liverpool not pursuing or not. Now, the thing that bothers me is with Liverpool reversing this furlough thing and his statement, this open letter, this letter that fucking Peter Moore put together, alluding like we'll look at other ways as long as we can compensate, this situation, whatever. Are they going to start doing that next? Going, we ain't got no money to spend because of the pandemic. Have you seen all this rubbish about like how many billions and millions? I saw it on a website that said that Liverpool have lost, was it £200 million value of the squad? What, because of this? I've never heard so much shite in all my life. Have you guys? Come on, guys, don't fall for this nonsense. It's absolute load of fucking rubbish. Do you know what I mean? You think we haven't been playing football for years, or all players have aged 2 years since? I've never heard so much rubbish in all my life. Don't fall for it, guys. Just don't fall for it. Not having it. By the way, while we're talking about Sky and that, if you've got Sky Sports, I hope you've paused your subscription. You speak to Sky Sports. I did it through Facebook Messenger, and they pause it. They still let you watch Sky Sports, but they don't charge you for it. There's number one. BT Sport are doing a similar thing. They initially said we'll give you a month back credit to your account. They've changed it to 2 months now, so you can donate that money to the NHS. They'll take it off your, they'll still bill you, but give the money to the NHS charities. Right, but if not, you just want 2 months crediting back to your account, go to the BT Sport website. I'm sure you know these things, and I don't need you in the comment section saying, and I've never paid for Sky Sports or BT Sports because I've got this Android box and I can watch anything for 3p a month. Guys, we've all got that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got that, but I also like a bit of reliability. When I'm watching Liverpool, the last thing I need is like You know what I mean? Oh, man, it shoots! What? Where's it gone? And then it goes back and man, it shoot! And it's like, no, I can't be doing with that, guys. Can't be doing with it. No matter how poor you are, you have got to fucking watch Liverpool properly. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yes, I've got the alternative box. Well, a friend does. But I do have genuine subscriptions to Sky Sports and BT Sports. But both of them basically are letting you still have access, even though you're not paying for it. So I'm sure most of you know this anyway. But honestly, I only mentioned this that they changed it to two months for BT Sport the other day, and people jumped on it. They weren't aware of it, so that's why I mentioned it to you. And if I'm doing you a favour there, then good one. So yeah, Timo Werner, what do you think is going to happen? So there's two questions here that I'm posing to you. One is, do you think that this contract clause is still, valid? It has to be, doesn't it? Surely. And two, do you think Liverpool's interest remains? That's it. Those two things. What's your view on the contract clause? Have you seen anything anywhere about it? And two, do you think Liverpool are still interested, or do you think they're just like, well, we're not bothered about the contract clause because we're not going for him? Let me know your thoughts, guys, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon. All right.